AITAH for making seat swapper cry? NTA It's so annoying for PPL to do this. They don't want to pay for seats but want people who do pay to give up their seat. I would never unless it's equal or better value. That last time a man asked me to switch so he could sit with his girlfriend. I got to move 6 rows up and he brought my bag and put in the bin for me. Even sent me a drink. NTA She's in the wrong for one, not being able to plan and book ahead of time so her son isn't left alone, 2 not being able to put aside her comfort ahead of her precious son, and 3 thinking that anyone owes her anything for being a poor planner. NTA I really hope this is real, because that manipulative woman who sold out her son for more legroom deserved to get exposed as the opportunistic leech she is. Don't feel bad about her tears. They weren't real anyway. NTA Whenever anyone is asking to swap seats, it's always for a better one, and they always throw a fit like this to try and get what they want. When told no, people like this should be removed from the plane. As soon as parents book a child under a certain age, the booking site should make them book 2 seats together. It should not be an option to book random seats or only 1 premium and 1 random. If the parent is booking in economy, no extra charge should be added for booking 2 seats together. But if they try the premium and random, they should be forced to either pay for 2 premiums together or be downgraded to economy so they can be seated together. AITAH for refusing to label my wedding cake as vegan because a guest felt tricked. NTA The whole thing was vegan. It was your wedding, your choice. I wouldn't feel tricked by eating a vegan cake at all. She has some issues. Let her see, then be upset. You don't owe her anything. Putting up a sign would have rewarded her bad, entitled behavior. You had no reason to do it. NTA Should you also put a sign up if you serve broccoli? You're not tricking anyone into eating something they're allergic to, or tricking vegans into eating a non-vegan cake. This is just absent of certain ingredients. The horror. NTA Greater than she said it was disrespectful to have a vegan cake on display because it felt like I was pushing my lifestyle on everyone. Not gonna be the first time you have problems with this aunt. Clearly someone who gets incensed at the idea of someone living in a way that is different than what she does. I suggest you ignore her and hope she stays away. Someone should tell Linda about Oreos. NTA The only things you are obligated to include are allergens, dietary and religious food exemptions. Being vegan, unless they are allergic to something like soy, is not something you have to put. In fact, it's actually more time-consuming to label something vegan, because every ingredient has to be outright vetted to be not animal-based to be legally labeled as vegan in the first place. Like kosher or halal, there are rules and guidelines you have to follow. Linda is being incredibly ridiculous. And no, a sign to appease people being dumb is not the answer. This is the kind of person that would have complained. Sign or no by the sounds of it. AITAH for embarrassing my aunt at a baby shower instead of showing tact and declining an invitation. Request more respectfully? NTA A lot are going with YTA, but I'll say something about the hint, nudge crowd, especially when they're in denial. They ignore soft no's. Could you have been more polite? At least for the first one? Sure, but would it have worked? And as this wasn't just your trip, you had a responsibility to hold the group's boundaries. NTA Yay. It's easy to say you could have been more tactful in hindsight. But you're 16. I can't expect you to always remember to be mindful and tactful. Especially in situations like this when you're being pressured. I can easily imagine a 16-year-old overreacting and not being aware of their surroundings. 2. Your mother is the one who turned this into an awkward situation. You were ignoring Jenny's hints rather well until your mom butted into the situation and escalated it. Not only did she not even give you time to come up with a proper excuse, she also added more pressure on you to invite her. In hindsight, she can say, "Oh, you could have come up with an excuse, but how would you have known at the time?" She would have let it go and accepted the excuse, since despite knowing how you feel about Ellie, she decided to try and invite her on the trip as well. Your mother has previously been completely capable of turning the conversation away from Ellie in the past. So why didn't she use this skill to support her daughter? She added the pressure and made the stakes higher. Your overreaction is probably the only thing that stopped them from pushing more. VC, it feels like even had you come up with an polite excuse, they would have still pushed the issue. But your "oh hell no" made it awkward and impossible for them to keep it going. NTA. Your mom's the one at fault. She should not have been trying to invite someone to asterisk your camping trip without talking to you first. If she hadn't been shooting her mouth off, trying to give away something that was not hers to give, you wouldn't have had to say anything, and no one would have been embarrassed. NTA. But it should really be justified. While yes, it could have been handled more tactfully, something tells me that Aunt Jenny is the kind of person who pushes people to accept Ellie. She would have said stuff like, "Ellie is just one person. It won't be too hard to accommodate one more." Or that Ellie just wants to bond, or some crap like that. Sometimes an emphatic no is needed to nip that in the bud. NTA. Tell your mom if she wants you to respond to others who are being rude with respect, she should hold herself to the same standard and treat you with respect. Inviting a person she knows you strongly dislike to your camping trip was rude and disrespectful. AITAH for refusing to go to Thanksgiving because of my mom's boyfriend? NTA. You need to take care of yourself. It's your mom who is the selfish one. Doesn't care to even ask you talk about how things could change or how to make you more comfortable. Just me. It's asterisk my Thanksgiving. It's your Thanksgiving too. Do what you need to do and be with the family you want to be with. NTA. Your mom clearly is trying to fulfill some emptiness inside her by chasing after a partner. That doesn't mean you have to be there. You are almost 18 at this point anyway. I would go to my brother's and spend Thanksgiving with people who love and support me. By the way, a gift doesn't cost anything, so unless he's giving you cash back for that car, you bought it fair and square. I say this in case him or your mom starts guilting you for nonsense. NTA. Ask your brother if you can attend. It sounds like it could be a great time, and maybe the start of a great tradition? Who can say? And it also sounds like this is a relationship you should focus on nurturing. Your mom can talk, but you are not the one being selfish. Deciding to host with her BF of 2 months rather than her children is short-sighted at best. NTA. You have every reason to be cautious about your mom's new boyfriends. It seems not only does she not have good judgment, but she has failed to put her kids above her own desires. You are not the one being selfish and disrespectful. Your mom is only considering her wants and needs, and not yours at all. I'm surprised she would even notice that you aren't there if you choose to go somewhere else. NTA. Please try to spend the holiday with your brother without any feelings of guilt.